So for anyone watching right now, this is our friend Cody Walker, by the way. This is fun. I like how we just jumped right in. We just go straight to it with politics. And we don't ever talk politics on the channel. And now we're right.
No, me neither.
Should we talk sex and religion too, and just get it right off the bat? All the shit you're not supposed to talk about. But dude, for one, I'm fucking excited to see you. I haven't seen you in quite some time.
No. Same, man. Glad to be here.
And I have a lot of, we have some fun memories together. But before we jump into some of those, let's talk, given that it's coming up this weekend. Yeah. How many Fuel Fests have you done now, dude?
I don't know.
Have you lost count at this point?
Yeah, I think it's 20.
Wow.
21.
I was just telling Sean.
The 21st one? I think it's 20... 21, 22, something like that.
That's crazy.
Badass.
It is crazy, dude, because, when we met, I was 25? I think I was 25 years old.
Like, and you're 38 now?
I just turned 37.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, I know. My birthday was on the 13th, so just 37. Just turned 37.
Wow, man.
But yeah, we actually reminisced about this a little bit last year at the show.
Yeah.
Because it's like, dude, it was all those years ago. But it started off with just because you had Paul's Cars here for the longest time.
Yep.
And then we had a neat opportunity to raise money for Reach Out Worldwide at that. It doesn't exist anymore. It's like Revelocity. It was up in San Jose.
Yeah. That's right. Yes.
Yeah. And you helped to facilitate. We got the cars up there. We got the Supra, and we had the white R34 was there. And then fast forward, I don't know, a couple of years after that, we had in memory of Paul at College of the Canyons.
Which is crazy because I drove right by there today. I had to go to Santa Clarita Porsche to drop off one of my clients' vehicles. Mm-hmm. And as I was driving by it, I mean, you know how within a blip of a second, a whole year's worth of memories nail you?
Oh, yeah.
I was driving by that college going, oh my God, I remember it like it was yesterday, dude. And for you to have, I love that, number one, you didn't want to capitalize on your brother's name. That event was literally that, in memory of your brother Paul.
I was telling everybody that.
Yep.
I was like, cool, that's it.
Yep.
That was a really awesome event. Everyone was all just doing it because it was for a cause, and everyone was pulling favors.
Yep, totally.
And it was beautiful and it was cool.
It was.
And that was it. And then it was after that happened where I was like, okay, because you got to remember, I was a paramedic up in Oregon.
I know.
Before all of this, Paul and I were extremely close because of our age gap.
Yeah.
You'd think it could
What's
be
the difference
opposite.
again between
15
you guys?
years, because I was the accident.
You were the big old accident.
We have the same parents, but my mom was only 20 when she had Paul. 35 when she had me, which is more and more normal now, especially for kid number 2 or number 3, right?
Sure.
35 is like, okay, whatever. My dad was 42 when I was born. But that said, because of that age gap, and my parents separated when I was in middle school.
Yeah.
It's like all of those reasons are why Paul and I were so incredibly close.
Yeah.
So he took me, he was another, I love my dad. My dad's always been in the picture, growing up, everything. But Paul was like almost another father figure too, on top of
with
big
15
brother.
years between you. Sure,
crazy.
That's huge. Yeah.
And so, I traveled all over the place with him, different movies he was working on, surf trips to Indo and Costa Rica, and just all over the place. And so I was like his first kid. He would joke about that, and it's like, and my mom would be calling him up, Paul, you got to bring your little brother home. He has school tomorrow. And I remember is always the same line. It's like, Mom, he's learning everything he needs to know with me. And so, I got in trouble with, missing school and dipping out, but it's like, you bet I'm not going to be there.
Totally. Right.
So, it's kind of what, and then at the same time, it was when my parents were separating that Paul was actually, so Fast and the Furious, the original, had already come out.
Yep.
He was literally filming Too Fast in Miami when my parents just split. And immediately flew me out to Miami, and I stayed there for 2 or 3 weeks or something like that while they were filming that. So meanwhile, my siblings in the middle, like they were already adults. They already had their lives going on.
Yeah.
So like it was this weird, just by happenstance, kind of just how life was.
Yeah.
That like it created the bond that Paul and I had with one another.
Yeah, yeah.
I kind of went off a tangent.
Did he get you into cars?
What's that?
Did he get you into cars?
Yeah, well, yes, and I mean, yes, for sure. But let me back that up. Like a lot of kids, young boys, like I liked cars and Legos and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Was it like my primary focus? No, it wasn't like my primary focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like cars were always a big topic of discussion at home. My dad was a big motorcycle guy before starting a family. And then we were raised to be terrified of motorcycles.
Yeah.
My dad like shelved all of that and was like, no, none of my kids are riding motorcycles. Oh, they are. Yeah. They're so fun, but they're dangerous, right?
My dad tried that with us, by the way. He got me and my brothers into bikes. And then he went, nope, no bikes at all. And we were like,
you did the same with my
sorry,
dad.
bud. Yep. I mean, I got a Harley out there. I ride, dude. I ride, and I blame him all the time for getting me into it.
Well, I did. Well, he knows now. But you know, right? Like I when I moved away, like when I was like 18, I went to school, Santa Barbara Community College, and I met a buddy who got me into street bikes, and I had a Suzuki Gixxer 600.
Oh, so did he at the Gixxer?
Oh yeah.
That was short lived. I had it for like 7 months. I am convinced to this day that my buddy was trying to kill me. He had so much more experience than I did, but we were both young bucks, and you're invincible when you're 19,
100%,
right?
Absolutely,
Everybody knows that.
Man. Yep, totally.
And I just had to absolutely make sure my dad had no idea, because I was like, he'll show up and kill me himself.
Yeah, and your dad's a badass.
Yeah.
Your dad's a badass. Yes. I know he was a fighter.
And that generation too.
Yeah.
It's like my dad's like, my Woodstock was, it's an M14.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like my dad went to Nam, he saw combat, he got blown up. He spent a couple of years in Japan.
Wow.
Yep. Oh yeah, his dad's a badass.
Crazy.
Yep.
He is.
He was first Cav, Vietnam.
Okay, so just to bring us back to it, because I think it's really what I was starting to say before was, I love that you, number one, you didn't want to capitalize on your brother's name, so that was a one and done event, and it was such a badass event. I mean, I have so many fond memories of that. I remember making Sean Lee, when I pulled the R34 off the trailer, Sean was having a really difficult time that day, and I said, come on, get in with me when we go pull it in. No. I was like, get in the fucking car, dude. And I made Sean get in. And before I swear, like the tears are ready to flow. As I was starting to pull, how sweet Sean is. Sean's just crying like crazy. There was so much love that day. But I love that you, rather than going, cool, I'm going to do this all the time, you created Fuel Fest. You saw an opportunity to create an event. You're the one guy, and I've said this, you're not the only person I've said this to, Cody. I've said it to a lot of people. I think you're the only guy out there that has the ability to do what you've done, which is to bring the Dans and the guys like that bring in all the bonkers hypercars, the multi-million-dollar vehicles, but then all the Fast and Furious guys, then all the JDM guys, and the muscle car guys, and the drag race guys, and the drift car. I mean, you bridge a gap between so many parts of this automotive space. And I mean, I've said it before, you're the only guy I think that could have done that. And I think part of it tying to your brother, but there's something, I mean, dude, I fucking love you like crazy. There's something special about you that allowed you to bridge this gap, and you've done it with Fuel Fest, dude.
I appreciate it, man. It was so important to me to like make my own way. And I mean, okay, listen, I'm never going to not be Paul's little brother.
Of course.
Okay. And fortunately for me, like, he was a good dude.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm in the shadow of a man who was like a piece of shit.
Totally.
You know what I mean? It's like he was a solid guy and he had such a hand in like who I am and who I grew up to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, I didn't want to do any more of the, you know, it was like in memory of him. And and then the idea kind of occurred. It was like, well, if I make this like a thing, like, and I create a company out of this, like, and I create, you know, Fuel Fest was born. It was like, you know, events, like if it's your thing, you can benefit whatever cause you want to, like in perpetuity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I pulled everyone was pulling a favor for that for Paul's event, you know? And by the way, that little event, we raised $77,000 for Reach Out Worldwide that day.
Wow. I didn't know it was that much.
It was so
That's
cool.
so cool.
And but I was like, okay, cool, done. And then it was like, man, you know, we could make something real and forever donate proceeds to Reach Out Worldwide.
Yep.
And then also like hire people that aren't just like busting their ass
Sure.
to do, because that's not sustainable. That was
not at all.
That was
Not
never
at
going to
all.
happen that way. So Fuel Fest was, you know, kind of originally had a terrible name. Carchella was like kind of tossed around.
Oh no.
I'm so glad that that's not
Whose
what
idea was that
happened.
one?
Not mine. Won't name any names. Not mine. I wasn't super against. I'm not going to say I was super against it though at the time, but it's kind of a crazy thing. Like actually, it's not crazy at all. Like Coachella is a big thing, right? And they have firms and whatever that are constantly searching for people who are trademarking names or whatever. And like, we had kind of put a little thing out there to see if like that name was available, and we immediately got a cease and desist.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
So, but again, like that was meant to be, because it's a stupid name that is.
Yeah.
Fuel
Stupid.
Fest is a great name.
Well, it's a fun
just
tie-in.
lands.
It's a fun tie-in. Obviously, we're always going to have the association with Fast.
Yep.
Right, and all of that stuff. It's FF. It's the same letters. So yeah, it just worked out. Things work out the way they're supposed to work out sometimes, most of the time.
What's been the craziest one you've thrown so far? Because I know it's kind of global now, right?
Yeah, I mean, so we'll be returning to Japan for our 4th year in August.
Great. That one,
which is
crazy.
really, really neat. It's at Fuji Speedway.
That's got to be wild, huh?
It is. It's one of those things, guys, where it's like, you know, cars and the culture. It's like it's just a universal language, and like we do over here. If you're a tuner guy, you know, you drool about cars that were never sold over here, right-hand drive.
They geek out on American.
I imported this, baby. You know what I mean? That whole thing.
Yeah.
It's the opposite over there, dude.
Yeah.
You'll see dudes running around in like muscle cars and Chevys and cool shit, and you're like, whoa, and it's left-hand drive, and they're like, yeah, imported. Bro. You know what I mean? It's so cool. And like at our Fuel Fest show, and thank you, Sean, for the accolades, but it's like, in Japan, same thing. Like we do our event in Japan, and it pulls everything. We've got the tuners, we got the muscle car guys, we got the donks. I mean, they do it all.
Yeah.
They've got
They do
sometimes
lowriders
they do
too,
lowriders.
right?
Do they
Yeah.
even dress the part?
Yeah.
That's what I've
It's
seen
full
that stuff.
costume,
Cholo looking.
Oh, the
like,
whole
yeah.
thing. It's so nice. They even have. We had. It was actually this was not my idea, but it was brilliant. It was so fun. But my my partner over there, his name's Toshi. He's actually one of the guys behind RWB.
Oh, okay.
On the business side of RWB, right? He didn't tell me this whole bit that he had kind of drummed up beforehand, but we have like we do like this opening ceremony, and it's like, welcome to Fuel Fest year number 3, and I'm there, I got Tyrese there, I got Sung Kang there, and Toshi brings us over and he introduces us to the American police. There are all of these imported Tahoes, like Crown Vics and stuff.
Full cop car.
Full NYPD, LAPD, all this stuff.
Sirens and everything
completely
still
done up. ICE, like everything, like they were all decked out different, like Border Patrol, all this stuff. American. They had the bulletproof vests, they had the guns, the full thing, and it's just like a car group, and this is their thing.
Wild.
And they showed up and were part of this whole bit where we're at the starting line, Fuji Speedway. All of a sudden, lights and sirens blazing, and they come charging down.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The straightaway.
How cool!
And it's
bro.
like it was like this ad lib, wait, was this for real? Like, what's going on? It's like, oh, I think I get it. I get what's going on here.
Yeah.
So like Ty jumps in a car, Sung jumps in a car, I jump in a car, and we're in the 34. He's in the Vale side, and Tyrese is in this purple Mitsubishi.
Oh
Clips
no!
are too fast.
Come on!
And we take
Hilarious.
off, and these cop cars are chasing us down.
Oh my
In front of this
God.
massive crowd. It was such a crack.
They
up,
must
dude.
go nuts for it over there
Dude,
too.
it's everything. They have a Hummer owners group.
Wow.
Like it's literally everything. And then
Wow.
you've got your little, your little K vans and literally everything. We have 2,500 cars on display at Fuel Fest Japan.
Wow.
The K
Huge.
trucks, those are big.
They got everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
Where else do you do it internationally?
well, I don't have anything to announce at the moment, but the timing's kind of weird. But we have some discussions going on in the Middle
Okay.
East.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That
Well,
would make
not all. I mean, there's a lot of parts of the Middle East that are very much not, at war and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
saying this year either.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
yeah. We actually did a Fuel Fest in Abu Dhabi a couple of years ago.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And but it's just we weren't in the right place. So it was kind of an interesting thing. We were we were basically inside of this festival. It's called Liwa Village that
Okay.
happens in the desert outside of Abu Dhabi. And here we are at if I mispronounce this, I don't know. It's like the Morib Dunes. And they're known to be some of the biggest or the biggest sand dunes in the world.
I've seen videos on Instagram. of
This
these.
it was so sick because there was all of these crazy, just like sand machines trying to climb this mountain.
Yeah.
And it's like a competition.
Massive
Some
turbo.
of them are
Yeah.
tumbling down.
Yeah.
Some of them, because they're maybe
What
they're
a trip.
It was so sick, and it's huge, and it's this thing that they've been doing for about 15 years or something. The government sponsors it at this point. It started off as like this small thing that the
Yeah.
people were doing, but anyway, they wanted us to do a Fuel Fest and kind of gave us a spot out in the show. But I got Luda to come out, and he performed. And nobody knew who he was.
That's
No
hilarious.
shit.
I'm like, no, that was
It's
the thing. It was
ludicrous,
like,
you
I was
guys.
like, no shit, guys. Why are we here?
Right.
There's tribal people out here on camels. No, I'm being completely serious.
I
You're not
get it.
joking. Yeah.
I'm being completely serious. Wearing the traditional thing, and they're singing traditional songs. Why
Why are we here?
here? And why did you have
Wrong
me?
demographic,
We
bro.
have Luda
Yeah.
here who just performed on stage for the 75 people here that know who he is.
Wow.
And let me tell you, they had the best little time of their lives.
Oh, I'll bet they did. They
'Cause
were
he's
like
literally
a private
touching
show.
all their- It was
Yeah.
a private show. It was a private show. It was so funny though.
Do you have
Crazy.
to dress up in their outfit when you go out there?
No.
Okay.
No, it's just like a traditional thing that like if
Yeah.
you're an Arab, you're kind of wearing that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, sure.
There's no weird there's not weird is not the word, but there's no expectation for you to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Like
completely
you show up dressed like you're dressed.
They're Abu Dhabi, the UAE is so open to Western culture and all
Yeah.
of that. So think of Dubai, dude. That's
Yeah.
in the
Yeah, sure.
UAE. Like they want to play ball, dude. They're
Sure.
capitalists.
Sure.
Like they're ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
And like
huge.
it's so safe.
That's
Super
what I've heard.
safe.
You could leave your car running keys in it, leave your
Yep.
phone on the trunk, and no one will touch anything.
It's super safe. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know the whole inner workings of the country, but it's like it's really difficult to get a citizenship there. Really, really difficult. Like,
Yeah.
if you're a foreigner or like if your parents, immigrate somehow, maybe they're doctors or something, that's really kind of the only way in. They'll never get a citizenship.
Yeah.
They'll get
Yeah.
a work
To be like,
visa or whatever, and then maybe you're born, you still probably won't have a
Wow.
citizenship either.
Wow.
It's
Interesting.
multiple generations.
Yeah.
Or I think the quick way in is like a lot of countries, the US is similar to this too. Unless you like bring in big money
Yeah.
or create some business, that then employs
They welcome you.
a bunch of people and like heightens a level for them and their people.
Yeah.
You kind of get fast tracked into maybe gaining citizenship there.
Right.
But like there's no taxes. The royal family, like they pay for the highways, they pay for your medical, everything. That's why it's also so difficult to become a citizen.
Right. Sure.
Because it's sense. Like, there's like, unless you're contributing in a big way, you don't get all of these gifts kind of a thing.
Sure.
But dude, they can just, that's why Dubai like blew up so much, like so quickly, because it's like, there's no red tape, dude.
I'll bet.
The man says, we're going to go here. And it's like, okay, we start tonight.
We build towers.
We build,
Yeah.
It's really fascinating.
That had to be really fun.
Is it like
to see
Vegas,
that.
where it's like just a city in the middle of the
That's
desert?
actually how I explain it, but it's more grandiose.
Yeah, like
Right?
Vegas
And
can be kind of tacky. This is really like
it's just
exquisite.
It's like it's Vegas on steroids.
Wow.
And then you also have the ocean.
Ooh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's like right there.
Yeah,
And like all of the wild stuff that they've done there, like creating man-made islands and
and there's
totally.
crazy
All of
cars
that.
driving around all the time. Like I've heard that
Oh,
it's not
yeah.
even about what car you have; it's about your license plate. If you have number one or two,
You've heard right. Yeah, that's it. You know about that?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's just so much money to go around.
Yeah, buying a
Sure.
Lamborghini
It's like,
is whatever.
cool, you buy a Lamborghini, I buy a Lamborghini. You know,
Right.
you do this, I do this. But like,
What's
how do
your
you
plate
get the one
number?
up? How do you get the one up?
Number
there can
one
only
license
be
plate.
number one.
Yeah.
That's
one
so
number one.
funny.
$10 million for the license.
That's it.
That's so crazy.
I learned about that. I learned about all of that stuff when we were filming Fast 7, because we filmed bits of it over in Abu Dhabi and spent some time in Dubai.
Cool.
And that's where I learned all about the license plate game.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
I'm like,
Yep.
you want to know who Big Boss is? You look for the singular
Number one.
digit plates, starting with 0, 1, 2, 3.
Crazy.
$10 million for a plate.
Crazy.
Fuck, dude. That's
But,
another
when you,
level.
but some of these, you look at the wealth.
Money.
What's $10 million when
Yeah.
you're worth, $100 billion?
And it's like family members trying to compete with one another.
Yeah.
It's
How
like
funny.
they're all loaded, so it's like, how do you get the?
But
leg
you also
up?
have to
Yeah.
be careful when you're out there too. Like you're not speeding, you're not doing donuts in the intersections. Like they don't allow that stuff. Even
They don't
like,
mess around with that stuff.
Yeah.
like even
Yeah, yeah.
cursing in public. Like people are constantly kind of watching you. You have to be careful. You can't be intoxicated. You can't.
Yeah, I don't know about the cursing part.
This is just a respectful culture as well.
But yeah. But as far as like also like Abu Dhabi is more like Abu Dhabi is more of like the more traditional in a sense.
Yeah.
It's more conservative is the word I would use.
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi is more conservative. That's like where the
Or
old
Dubai,
money
like
is.
you have alcohol and stuff that's legal,
Yeah,
right?
well, in both. You can get it in both, but
Oh, you
like,
can,
but it's
okay.
it is more traditional. Abu Dhabi is more traditional. Abu Dhabi is like the old money.
Right.
Like that's the money that built Dubai.
wow. Okay.
Right. Gotcha.
Dubai
Yeah.
is like, hey, we want some of that international business and
Yeah.
luster and vibe. And we want, so they get, obviously that's a long haul for us,
Sure.
but they get a lot of Europeans and,
Yeah.
people from Asia and all that stuff.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, let's
yeah.
go to Vegas on steroids in the Middle East.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Totally.
it's very welcoming to everything.
There's a
like
specific
alcohol,
plane you take
clubbing,
to get over
all
there
that
too,
stuff.
right? Emiratis, is that what it is?
Emirates.
Emirates.
Emirates,
Yeah.
they're not the
Sorry,
only. They're not the only game. There's like Etihad Airways, and others. I'm sure, but
Yeah.
it's
Your
crazy.
focus
Sure.
with Fuel Fest then currently is more domestic while trying
sure.
to add on international. But Japan's in every year at this point.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep,
And
this
then
will be
here
year
you've
4.
done, if I remember correctly, like you just did Northern Cal recently.
That was the first time too.
Right.
Yeah.
And it looked like it was a success.
It was good. We're gonna go back for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
Where else? You've done Florida.
Oh boy. All right. So
Yeah, bring
so
them out.
So far this year, the last 4 years, 5 years, 4, I don't know, dude, they're flying by.
Yeah.
We start in Florida because we also have to like think of the weather, right?
Sure, of course.
And so like February in Florida is like pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So we've been doing West Palm, which is like a bonkers show. It is insane.
I'll
It's
bet.
so big.
I'll bet.
That show is huge for us.
How many cars do you have on display there?
I like 800, 800, but it's just like the number of like the activations that we have and the number of people that come through. Like
Yeah,
it's
sure.
nuts. And like Florida is so like welcoming to that culture because they don't have emissions regulations and
So
stuff.
much, yeah.
So it's just like the stuff that you see, you're just like, oh my gosh, that's
Crazy.
so cool, you know? But Florida's been really good to us. That's one of my favorite shows.
And that's a regular every year at this point. That's yeah.
And so what we did is we went, well, Florida likes to party. Florida's a really good time. And West Palm's been awesome because it's close to Miami.
Oh,
and
yeah.
We use the South Florida Fairgrounds there.
Yeah.
And so this year what we did is we're like, you know what? Let's add a show that's north of there because we were pulling from all over the state, dude.
Sure.
And even like Alabama and neighboring states.
Sure.
People are coming in. We're like, let's do one further north. So we added Tampa this year.
Oh, cool.
And we did it back-to-back weekends. We hit Tampa and then we went to West Palm. And we were a little bit worried. We're like, oh, are we going to cannibalize ourselves a bit?
Yeah.
We did a little bit, but totally worth the squeeze. It was great.
Very cool.
Tampa was
man.
sick too. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, so super happy about that.
And where didn't I see? Was it St. Louis? You did one as well?
No, several years back we were looking at doing a St.
that's
Louis,
what it
but we
was.
pulled out of St. Louis.
Yeah.
We didn't get that far with the St. Louis thing.
Yeah.
But then we did the Bay. Now, of course, this Saturday is LA. Now Pomona Fairplex because Irwindale's gone.
Yeah.
Which I'm curious about this. Are you because that obviously big loss. Irwindale was a cool setup, but at the same time, the part I personally didn't like, I wasn't affected by it because again, I get on my motorcycle.
I know it. Yeah.
And I go through the vendor gate and I park at Liqui Molly's booth.
Yeah.
So in and out of there, no problem. Now I have heard from friends of mine that sat out there for about an hour trying to get in. So I got it.
I've heard worse.
Yeah, yeah.
I've heard worse, which is like horrible. Obviously, it's like the worst case. We
Horrible.
Don't wanna hear that shit.
But so I got to imagine now Pomona, given that there's so many gates for entry.
Yeah.
It's probably going to, the flow I got to imagine is going to be much better.
It's going to be a million times better.
Well, I go to the Pomona swap meet, and there's so many people that show up for that.
Yeah.
You get in fast.
Well, that place is designed for tens of thousands of people.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So yeah, it's going to be a complete game changer for everybody. That was honestly, Irwindale was cool. The location was cool.
Yeah.
The history of Irwindale was
Definitely.
cool.
Yeah.
All of that was cool, except for getting in and out. The ingress
100%.
egress was absolutely horrible.
Horrible.
To the point where, like, even last year before, like, we were like, are we going to do this again? Like,
Yeah.
this is really tough. This is tough for like it's like, do I even invite my friends to do that again? Like, and guys, anybody listening that's been to our Irwindale shows, like, it wasn't lost on us.
Yeah.
We pay big money for the traffic plans and for all the costs. LA, it costs us so much money.
I'll
the
bet.
cops, and every year we would pay more and complain. Hey, you stay in your lane and we'll stay in ours. All right.
I believe it.
Honestly,
I believe it.
And so it was freaking hard because then you get, again, it's not like people were killing us over it, but enough little comments here and there. And you're like, if only they really understood, like, we're trying so hard, but yeah, you know what? Irwindale's gone. R.I.P. Irwindale.
Yep.
It was cool. It was fun. But we'd kind of been looking at going somewhere else for a little while, and then it's kind of like forced our hands, which we're kind of grateful for too. Because I know some people would have been like, "Why aren't you going to Irwindale anymore?"
Sure.
But now it's gone. So, we kind of had been working and talking with Pomona for about 3 years. This is kind of a 3-year thing.
Yeah.
They don't really mess around at Pomona. They only have so many loud days. Per year. And if you're going to use the drag strip, you have to go through the NHRA and all of that stuff. So it was a process, but we're super stoked because this year we've partnered with NHRA.
I didn't know that was part of it.
That's like unheard of, dude. And then like that sold out like 160 or 200 cars for the drag strip, sold out like almost immediately.
I'll bet it did.
So it's going to be like all sorts of wild stuff from the garage, someone's garage. Some purpose-built something.
I'm so excited that you guys are bringing. It's a cool opportunity
for those people too.
Absolutely.
I'm so excited to see this.
To get to go run at that, I mean, where the Winter Nationals happen, that's a big, big, big deal, man.
Yeah. And you know what's funny, Sean, is I'm looking at you because we were on stage last year at LA and we were doing Q&A. Remember this?
Yep.
And someone goes, "Hey, you ever going to do drag racing again?"
Yep.
And I go, "Oh man, I knew this was going to happen."
Well,
the problem is, guys, it's an 1/8 mile over here, but like the shape of Irwindale, like it's too removed, and we've had to do this, and you're like the long story is, pal, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
Nice, good Sean impersonation, dude.
And here we are a year later, and we're at Pomona. And we're doing it, so
I
it's cool.
dig it though. So I'm assuming there will still be drifting.
Yeah, we got that too.
Yeah,
so it's cool. Yeah,
so
we
you
got
have
both.
drifting, drag racing. You'll have the full stage with performers.
They got Warren G.
Really?
Yeah,
dude. So this is going to be the biggest. And then also,
dude,
I got to
be freaking nuts.
The capacity's way
I can't
bigger.
Wait, I'm going to show you the map after this.
I'm so
Dude,
excited
I'm
about
so
this.
proud of our map.
I'm
this
so excited.
This show is going to look amazing. Dude.
Yeah.
It's our biggest LA show yet.
Yeah, because that was the other thing. If I remember correctly, at Irwindale, you max out at like 13,000 people.
13.5, yeah. Yeah.
What are you allowed to have at Pomona?
Oh, dude. I mean, I would love to say, well, Pomona, yeah. What is its capability? I mean, they probably...
You could have 50,000
I was gonna
people
say
there probably.
40,000, 50,000 people.
Yeah.
We're not going to have that many people.
No, I get it. But you'll
it
probably
has the
have
ability-
20,000 people there.
Yeah, and it has the ability to grow with us.
Yeah.
So, not going to lie, though, this is a lot more expensive than Irwindale.
I'll bet it is.
When it comes to setting up for
Damn.
a Fuel Fest, what are some behind the scenes logistics that you have to deal with that a lot of people don't know about? Like you were saying, paying police and all that kind of stuff. Like how difficult is it for one location?
It's so hard. Like, it's so hard. And like, not gonna lie, California is the hardest. Of
course.
The Bay was so hard. The
Oh, I'll
Bay
bet.
Area was so hard. I'll get to your question, but just real quick, the Bay Area, LA shows us, LA news media shows us so much love.
Yeah.
This is home, and they love us.
Yeah,
because we
sure.
put on a good, clean event.
Sure.
The Bay
Sure you
Area
do.
has never had a Fuel Fest before. The Bay Area has, is kind of like the that's
Environmental
like the takeover
Nazis.
scene, like really,
Okay.
really
Yeah.
stronghold there.
Yeah.
So when we only got love from Fox 5 in the Bay Area. Nobody else would touch us.
They didn't want to even wow.
Nobody else would touch
Wow.
us.
Wow. That
Fox
sucks.
gave us a ton of love, but we only had one media in the Bay.
Here you probably get every news
Oh,
station.
they wouldn't even return our publicist
Isn't
calls
that
or
crazy?
emails. And
Isn't
we're like,
that
what is
crazy?
going on? And it's like, well,
You
like,
guys
it's
still
be-
like gas powered
it's
cars.
because, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's where I was going first. I was like, okay, it's really green and they don't like we're shredding tires and doing stuff. And everyone's like, no, it's actually more so to do with just like the takeover culture.
Yeah,
and like
they
they
don't
don't
wanna
know
promote it.
Okay.
they don't know what Fuel
Yeah,
Fest
but
is.
you're doing it safely. Why would they
Correct.
not promote
And-
it? Like, go do it there.
Thank you. And I think we had a great
100%.
event. We had a banger of an event up there.
Yeah.
And like clean event, good. And so I'm hoping next year, I know next year we're gonna get more love.
Now they'll give you support
Because our whole
they-
thing is like, hey, that's why we're doing this too.
Yeah.
Like
Get these
doing this
people
in
off
a
the
good
street
way.
and go do it over
Yeah.
there.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it, dude.
Yeah.
Is you want to drift and drive like a jackass? You can do it here legally. I mean,
Yeah.
it's great.
Fuel Fest is kind of like Race Wars when you watch the Fast and Furious movie and they all meet. You kind of created that, bro.
But it's true. I mean, it is. It has that vibe to it. But I like that you said clean too, because I never really thought of it that way. But it is.
Yeah.
People aren't. I mean, I've been to every one of the LA ones. People aren't getting drunk. People
No, we
aren't.
don't have a big drinking culture.
It's not.
on our
It's not
show,
a
which is-
jackass
which is great.
culture. It's
Yeah,
really
drinking and
not.
driving
I got pretty
doesn't
lit
really
one
work.
time out there. I
Yeah.
know Stevie does too.
Well, yeah, that was
Not
two
like
of you
lit, but
morons.
yeah.
Well, like also it's like, there's other car events that are just I think they're more edgy and they're more directed towards like just the young men that are driving said car. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how to say this another way. It's like our show's more like for the people.
It is.
You know what I mean? Like
I
for the
agree.
fans, like 12 and under, the kids are all free.
Yep, and you see a lot of
and
kids.
it's-
at your
yeah, and we
events.
keep
It's
it
a
clean.
family event.
We keep
Yeah.
it clean. Like we don't have like the half naked
Yeah.
chicks walking around and stuff
No.
like that. It's just different.
Booth.
Different. It's a different type of event with a different feel, a different vibe.
Yeah.
Very welcoming. Sometimes we piss people off because of the judging. We've never really done judging, but
Yeah.
we started doing a thing this year.
Okay.
Where we're like, well, listen, like Fuel Fest, like in the city that we go to, and the cars there are like a representation of the scene in that town, right?
Yeah.
It's not like we have like some really cool stuff, and then we'll have stuff that's just like, yeah, okay, cool. It's a kitted out, Civic, whatever. It's like, yeah, but that's that guy's like heart and soul, and like
100%.
spends every freaking dollar on that thing. So we've kind of always steered away from like being like a judged like event, like doing like judging.
Yeah.
So what we did do this year, which has actually been going over really well, it's really fun, is like we have the people's choice.
Oh, that's cool.
So the people vote.
Let them decide. Let them.
The
be the
people
judge.
vote, and we'll do a first, second, and third, and they get a trophy. They get to go up on stage, talk about their car.
That's awesome,
and stuff.
dude.
So it's like, it's cool. And then we still manage to tick people off, but it's like, hey, there's other shows for that. If you
You're
want to go win a
always
trophy,
going
it's always going to be that way. And if you do a serious judging thing, like you got to have the right people doing that. Right, that's a big responsibility.
Yep.
And you're going to have a bunch of pissed off people anyway, because the only people that are going to be happy are the people walking away with trophies.
That's right.
Yeah.
Dude, there's
I don't want to go there, man.
Everybody should get a trophy, Cody. Come on.
Yeah. A participation
Everyone
award,
gets a
right?
That's not
participation
what I'm
award,
saying. I'm
bro.
not saying that either, because that's definitely bullshit. But
Yeah, we're
yeah,
all
we
about
kinda-
win, lose, and draw, and that's it. But
Win, lose, and draw.
You know.
Cowboy over here, bro.
I feel like he practices these in the mirror, bro.
Win, lose, and draw, brother.
I got one for you, and I got one for you. But I think it's cool that you're actually doing that now, giving people an opportunity to like win something with their car. I mean,
yeah, I want to do
dude, you're
more.
always
And
gonna
I want
piss
to
somebody
grow
off.
it. Yeah, and I want to grow it to do more. Like we're
Yeah.
always. And then to answer your question,
10 minutes later, thank you.
go back all the way back. Yeah, it's the surprise $8,000 bill 2 days before the show for some fencing that was overlooked by the venue or something, and a $10,000 surprise bill for something else that was overlooked by
Whoever's planning or
that.
the city.
Like,
or,
yeah,
How
the
much does
city
it cost to run the
or
whole thing? Sorry to cut you out. How much does it cost?
hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it.
You got to get permits.
Sure.
You gotta
Oh my
get, I mean, that's the only thing I
God.
can really think
Yeah.
of is permits. But
You've got to deal with, in the planning, you've got to work with the fire, and make sure you have the proper distance between.
and you got to
the
hire all of them
lanes.
for the day, don't you? Every single person
yeah,
that's
and
there.
the police, and depending on whether like police dogs or like plainclothes police officers that
How many
aren't-
people do you work with then that are like in the fuel? I know you got Randall, right? And how many other?
Yeah, that's kind of a harder question to answer, because it's like I've got a few employees, and I have several that are like 1099 like contractors. too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man, like 16.
Oh,
in
okay.
all, like not in a mix of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot going on
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That, like people. I'm glad I get to talk about this, because people that are just attending the show, like they just don't get it. And
No.
No,
that's-
I didn't know that.
and
much.
that's fine. It's like unless you do it, you wouldn't know that. But
Yeah.
it's cool to be able to talk about that, because it's like sometimes, something's just like out of our control or whatever, and we're always trying to do better and
Yeah.
and learn from whatever, and try to get ahead of those surprises that like the police department hit us with, or
Yeah.
the city hit us with, like
Yeah.
on the last minute. And sometimes it's so frustrating, because and I'm not saying that it's necessarily on purpose. I think in some cases it absolutely is, but it's like sometimes it's like so unethical, where it's like, well, your show's in 3 days, so are you gonna pay this, or
They do it on purpose.
or do we
Yeah.
just
Cancel your show.
not show up or not do this?
Yeah.
Happens all the time.
Yeah, I can't
that's
imagine
crazy.
the
And I'm not saying that's, I'm not throwing anybody in the bus. Right? I'm just talking in general sense.
Yeah, sure.
After doing 20 whatever shows, those are the types of things.
Is that like
do
an
happen.
every show type thing that happens every show? Or is that just like every once in a while?
No, I wouldn't say every show. No, I wouldn't say every show. There's little surprises probably in every show, but like the ones where you're just like, man, I see what you're doing here.
right cash grab.
And that's a cash grab.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I'm not surprised
you
though.
know
You
the
draw,
answer.
you draw enough people, you draw enough attention.
yeah.
There's going to be people that at the last minute go, "You really want this to happen?"
Yeah. It is not a, hey, let's get together, pull a permit, and like invite a bunch of people to this place. It's not.
Yeah.
There's so much involved, and there's so many things that we're required to do by law, and we want to be safe, right? And then there's, of course, the crazy insurance costs because we live in such a litigious society now
that's
and
the other thing
everything.
I completely forgot about
That's
insurance.
crazy, crazy. The expenses are so high.
Because you have to plan for every single driver that's going out on the track, right? Because there's random people coming on, and you have to be insured.
Yeah. Well, yes and no. Yeah. I mean, we also will like piggyback off each other too. With like our policies, got to like name them, and then they name us in ours because there's got to be multiple layers to things, and you know, it's just like it's also motorsporting. Like things do happen.
For sure.
Has anything ever happened that it was like, oh shit? We got to change that for the next one.
Yeah, there was like we did have a car in the drift area that like hit the K rail just right and like rolled his car. Oof. And the driver hurt his hand really bad because his hand came out the window.
Oof.
And then honestly, like, knock on wood, but like we've been good.
Yeah.
The stupidest thing happened years ago. Actually, we did a show in the UK back in 2019 actually. And Fuel Fest, it was like our second show ever. It was such a different show than what Fuel Fest is now.
Yeah.
But like we had this, like it was on a golf course. It was beautiful, but like we didn't have drifting. We didn't have anything. It was just a big show with a stage and music.
Yeah.
This chick, like on a golf course, like rolled her ankle on a hill. And like this went on for years. And like just for
What the fuck?
It's
Yeah.
And like because it's
But
like, wait a
that's
minute,
the world we live in.
golf course, that's their hill.
Yeah.
We didn't put that hill. You didn't trip on something like that's
not a Fuel Fest
That's not
related,
us.
yeah.
That's a hill.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, please everybody black this lady from going to any golf courses.
Yeah, right.
Like what?
Yeah.
Like, but
that's the world we live in,
crazy
though.
world we live in.
That is definitely,
Stupid.
I mean, yeah. So, okay. So, God, I'm so excited for this Saturday. I wish this was going live prior to before the event so we could help to maybe push it a little bit.
Man, if I lived here now, I mean, if I was local, it'd been easier.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I even thought about it. Last week I think we were on our way to a shoot, and oh shit, Cody's going to be here next week. I got to hit him up and see if you would come do this with us.
We were both doing that. So it was perfect. I was like, oh yes.
I mean, I could drop
it
it tomorrow if you want, or do you want to keep it for Monday? Could drop it. I mean, it'd be 2 podcasts in 1 week, but or just leave it for Monday.
Yeah, we'll just leave it for Monday.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine.
Side question.
Yeah.
What do you do outside of cars? Like what,
I am
Changes
a father
diapers.
of 3. No, actually, I got one in diapers still. But like now, like my daughter's like got a lot of extracurriculars too outside of school. She's swimming, she's doing all of this stuff and dancing and all that. So it's like, yeah, dude, I'm a dad, like super busy when I'm not doing Fuel Fest stuff. And then we've got the Reach Out Worldwide angle too.
Yep.
And we've been doing a lot of stuff for the Eaton Fire Canyon victims. I know you guys did a bunch of stuff.
We did, yeah.
Getting people gift cards and getting them help after the fires.
Yeah.
And then outside of that, when I showed up, I was like, Sean, you're looking good. Like I like fitness, dude. I like going and working out. That's like me, like, me time. Time, right?
Totally, dude.
It feels so good to like have like that rhythm and like helps you sleep better, helps you think better.
There's like no downside to it at all.
Yeah. I love these two. I was telling you before we got rolling on the cameras, I love that these two got me going because I
do too. I'm so glad.
It was literally all the time these guys are asking me, come on, dude, come to the gym with us. You can tell both of them are fit guys. Josh, it's hard to tell because he wears such baggy clothes.
Shirts, and then I wear super tight shirts.
But when Josh, when you see the guy, he's pretty shredded up, man. But yeah, they got me going one day, and I'm hooked on it.
I remember we had a shoot, and the day before we're like, "Bring your sweatpants, bro. Just come with us. I'll get you in for free. Just come for an hour and see how you like it."
Well, I remember you texted me because you were like, "Hey, Sean's coming to the gym with us tomorrow." I was like, "Whoa, what happened?"
Finally, it was one day, and he was like, "Why have I not done this my whole life?"
Yeah.
Once you realize how good it is for you, you're like, "Damn, I was living like
hooked
out this forever."
Hooked. I mean, this is next on the list for me. But I was telling Cody, that I'm Monday through Friday in the gym at 6 a.m. My diet, the way it's changed.
You had a crumble cookie yesterday, bro.
I did.
It's all good, though.
okay.
It's all good, though. If you can't let yourself do things like that, then what the hell?
It's all about balance. It really is.
I am,
sure.
and even Brendan Schaub, Brendan's talking about a fit guy. I mean, holy cow with that guy.
Yeah.
And I asked him one day, because as a matter of fact, when he was over here shooting with us, we were all super hungry. I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to order some pizza. It's easy for everyone. There's a kick-ass pizza place in North Hollywood. And the pizza shows up, and I'm looking at it going, I don't know if I'm going to eat that, because I've been eating like super, either protein or vegetables. That's all I eat anymore. And Brendan said, you reset your body once a week. You want to eat off of your diet only once a week. But he said what it does is it shakes up the system and it resets your whole body. And I went, well, fucking A, I'm going to have more than one piece.
Cheat day.
I mean, and it's, I've noticed though, it makes a difference. It really does.
The 80-20 rule.
You notice too, like I've certainly noticed it, when you do fall off the wagon and like you eat bad, how much more you crave
The good stuff.
That shitty stuff.
Really?
I feel like if for me, like if I'm like, oh, okay, I'm eating this. Oh, we're out and about. It's like, oh, I'm eating this burger again.
Yeah.
Then like after that, it's like, ooh, I don't know. My body's like, I want more of that.
I feel bad that I'm eating that. I'm like, nah, I feel better when I eat the good stuff. And I'm like, let me go back to that.
You feel guilty. You're
Yeah, I feel guilty.
Like,
Exactly.
I can't do this.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I don't feel guilty, but I'm just like, yeah.
For me, it's you make that. If you get up, you go to the gym, then you eat right, the rest of the day you make better decisions. Where if you start your day off with, I'm going to skip the gym, now I'm going to eat something gross, and maybe I'll smoke this, and I'll have a drink later. You make all these, it's a trickle effect. You know?
Yes, that's true.
The one I've noticed that I found really interesting is, I'm not a big drinker, but I give me a nice tequila and some ice, and I'm pretty happy about it.
Yeah. What tequila?
I like Clase Azul. That's like my go-to, but I have plenty of other ones. La Familia kicks ass. I mean, I like tequila a lot.
I'll never forget this guy in Vegas doing the C-Tech announcement. By the way, guys, I'm hungover. I don't know if you guys can tell, but
This guy was doing a full unveiling.
Unveil on the car
party.
No, he was doing an unveiling in front of all his NSEMA. He hops on the mic after night
that's
one.
That's what I love about you, dude. You're just so
He's straight
genuine, dude. There's no bullshit.
Yeah, people liked it. It was good. It was good.
Yeah, by the way, I'm drunk right now.
I was super hungover and mildly buzzed still from the night before because it's SEMA, man.
Dude, the next morning,
everyone there's going, we know, and we love you for it.
We're right with you right now, dude.
Coming out of the hotel the next morning and seeing Sean, he looks like he got hit by a train. It was like
totally.
Eyes were all red. Like, all right, guys, I'm ready.
I can't. Yeah, but I have noticed with alcohol, that's been the interesting one. Is now I have 2 drinks, and the next morning I feel like I put poison in my system.
Yep.
And that's weird to me. That's I mean, I'm glad because it's helping me. It's not like I'm a drunk, but it helps me monitor it. I go, all right, I had a couple drinks last night. Yeah, it's going to be a minute before I have any more.
Another thing, and do you know? I don't know if you noticed this. I've noticed this too. Is like as I've gotten older, like I like tequila. I like whiskey.
Okay.
And I'm not like a big cocktail guy. Like I'm like use like ice, maybe, right?
That's
depending on like what it is and maybe what temperature it is or something.
Yeah.
But I noticed like that whole it's been a long day. I'm going to have one, or maybe I'm going to have 2. I sleep so bad.
Yeah.
Horrible.
I wake up in the middle of the night and it's like, what is that? Is that like the sugar breaking down?
It is.
And it's like
it is. The alcohol turns into sugar.
It's so bad.
It is.
Messes me up, dude.
You get that headache.
It's crap.
Yeah. Toss
I'm
and
the
turn.
same. And then I notice the next morning, because even if I feel that way, because I know if I fall out of this mode, if I'm not up at 5 and in the gym at 6, it's only a matter of time before I go, I can go in at 7. I can go in today. I don't have time now. It's too late in the day. And next thing I know, I'm going to be right back where I was before. So I'm really rigid about this. There's no negotiation for me. Even if I have had the couple drinks and I feel like I got poison in my system, I still go to the gym. But now my session in the gym sucks.
Yeah.
It really does. It's
That's
like I'm struggling, and I don't know, at my age, dude, it's for you to build muscle, for you even still at 37 years old to build muscle. Plus you've been doing it, all you guys have been doing it so long. I'm 5 months of working out and I've never done it in my fucking life.
Yeah.
I'm grinding for it, you know? I mean, I'm like, dude, I put 45 plates on the other day for the first time. I was like, there's nobody here to witness that I just did 45 plates all by myself.
It's funny you say that. I'll text, like, if I do 225, I'll text my friends, be like, I just hit 225 for 3 reps. Like, I got all like somebody has to know about this.
Dude, I was so fired up about it because I've been doing I've worked my way up to where I do 35s on each side. And then I added 5s one day. So I was like, all right, I'm right there. I'm right
full
there.
Full plate. Put it on.
But doing it by myself, nobody to spot me, you know? And for some reason, those 45 plates look like they're this big to me. I swear to you.
It affects you, like,
it's a mental thing.
Yeah.
It's a mental thing, yeah. But like today was my first day. I've done it a couple times, but today was my first day where I kept pushing it and going, yeah, there's nobody here to spot me. And I don't care. I'm getting this, man. And I'm hooked, dude. I'm hooked. And I love it.
You were going to tell us a story. Sorry, you were going to tell us a story about.
Oh, yeah.
Blood work.
I'm so glad you brought this back up.
I wanted to hear
this is
it.
a worthwhile story.
Yeah,
This is a worthwhile story. Yeah, so before we started, we were talking about
peptides and
testosterone and all these different things, of which I'm not on any of that stuff, but we were having a good conversation about it. But you had mentioned, if you're doing testosterone, you gotta get the blood work, you gotta do this, because there's all these wrong ways to do that. Right?
Yeah.
And there's all these consequences because once you start introducing testosterone, your body goes, oh, I don't need to make any of that anymore.
Yep.
So then your body kind of becomes reliant on the, what is it, injections?
Yeah, totally.
So anyway, that unrelated to that, this is about testosterone. A buddy of mine, really physical dude, like really like built, right? He's got a home gym. It's one of his hobbies, dude. He just like lifts heavy.
Yeah.
He's a stout guy. He's like built like a tank.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
just really strong. And I'm really good friends with him and his wife. And she's freaking hilarious. She's athlete, dude. She was like a gymnast, like whatever. And she can like put up weight too. Like she's built like a CrossFitter. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, shit. And so anyway, he's like in his early 40s. She's like 35, 36. And he goes on it. She goes and gets herself on it. But it's a much lower dose, right? For women, right? She wants the performance benefits of it. So she gets her instructions, blah blah blah. She doesn't understand how to read the syringe.
Oh no.
So she's supposed to be, and don't quote me on this because it's not important, but she's supposed to be taking like 0.1, let's just say.
Yeah.
She's taking 10x the amount.
No.
Oh no.
She grew a beard.
Dude. So they're telling me this story. I'm hanging out with them in the kitchen. We're drinking tequila in their kitchen, actually, and they're open book couple. They're such a good time.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, I mean, it was awesome at first. You know, I'd get home and she'd be like, take off your clothes, get on the bed. But then after a little while, I'd be like, it doesn't work anymore. Don't hurt me. And she's telling her side of the story. And she's like, oh my God, yeah, it's true. And she's like, but I could run faster. I could jump higher. I could put up more weight than I've ever had. And then I realized, like, I'm growing hair in places that I haven't grown hair before. Oh, no. And I'm going, oh no. And I contact my doctor and they bring me in and I explain what's going on. And they go, you need to stop immediately. And she's like, I was like a drug addict going, don't take my drugs away.
Oh my God, how funny, man.
And she's like, you got to stop now or your voice is going to permanently change and it's not going to do this and that and this and that.
Wow.
So she chopped it off, but it was just this whole story.
She chopped what off?
Absolutely.
What did she grow, bro?
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's why any of that stuff makes, guys my age have told me, like, you should be doing testosterone. Like, but I'm kind of more about, this is like a personal thing to me. You know what I mean? It's, what kind of results can I produce just by eating right, resting, and working out? What kind of results can I produce? You know, if I can't, like you said, 225, I don't know if the day's ever going to come that I put 225 up on the bench, and I don't give a fuck.
No,
I literally don't. No, but I'm saying it does not matter to me. I've got nothing to prove to anyone.
You just want to be healthy.
I want to be healthy. I want to feel good, you know?
Got some ropes going.
Dude, I like that stuff.
Yeah,
we should have
done
that
some
you get the little cut right here.
Home.
I know. I should have got the veins popping. We were talking about it as we were walking through the garage. Should we do some push-ups real quick, man?
Kyle, what were you saying Sean does recently?
With what? What are you talking about?
He said he does this now. Something about inspecting.
Oh yeah, he's. I've been.
Hey, you got to put it in context.
I've been checking out the male physique lately. I've been walking around seeing dudes looking at the physique of these males.
These fucking guys. Like I should fire both of them immediately.
You just said it the other day, and I was cracking up. Bro.
But you said it randomly. We were at In-N-Out or something.
No, we were at Chipotle. And he's
We were at
I've been
Chipotle.
checking out guys' bodies a lot lately.
But I
It's
said
just a new appreciation.
yeah.
it's looking, going like, wait, I want that. I don't mean I want that.
I want him.
See, I knew you would go right there, which is the closet element of you coming out publicly.
Yeah.
You just said you want
chest
that.
looks really good. His biceps are awesome.
You know, it's like Johnny Drama, right? Where he's
You got
jealous of the calves, right?
Yeah.
Are those implants?
Yeah. You got great calves, bro.
Dude, that stuff's wild, right? Oh, the implants.
I do know what you mean, though,
God.
Sean. You do look at, like, I look at my brother and I'm like, damn, I want to be fit like that, bro. I want the shoulders and the chest.
It's kind of weird you look at your brother like that. But,
See, now you're pushing it on me, bro. Yeah.
No, but it is definitely. I enjoy the process of it. That's the biggest part. And I know you guys all understand it. It's like when it becomes part of your life, it's different than. Okay, now I'm going to force myself to go fucking work out. You know,
I don't have to force myself at all.
Nah.
Not once it becomes routine, it's awesome.
It's awesome.
Especially like I don't have a home gym, but like that's the other key for me in life. Like when I've moved is like I got to just get the one that's like there.
Oh yeah.
So it's just like 4
Well,
minutes
for
down the
me,
road,
yeah.
and it's there.
Dude, I moved
motivates me.
recently.
Yes.
I moved recently to an apartment, and all the places I looked at, they had to have a gym, and the place I picked was the place that had 2 gyms.
You were
was
mentioning this,
that
yeah.
was literally 50% or more of the reason that I picked the place I live in. Is like, there's no excuse. All I have to do is go from the 5th floor down to the bottom. Yeah.
There's that element too.
Yep.
But when it's right there, you're like, oh, my room is right upstairs though. All I have to do is like finish this real quick and go shower. Where like for me, if I go to the gym and I see other people there working out, it motivates me. Like I have to work out. There's people here. They're watching me. I mean, obviously they're not, but you feel like that. You know, I drove to the gym. I have to work out. I'll finish this first and then go home. If I have a home gym, I'm gonna be like, I'm done with that set. I'm gonna go shower and eat cookies and chill.
Actually, I like the part of driving to the gym.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on the car you're driving to. You know, modified car.
We talked about that with Mike. He'll drive the twin turbo R8 to the gym, and that hypes you up. You know, and
I always take my Mustang to the gym.
Yeah,
for no
pre-workout.
reason.
Totally.
Yeah.
Get the music going.
Yeah.
So speaking of cars, this is one that came up for me too. I was thinking about this today with you. You recently got the final edition GTR.
Yeah, dude. It's so
How
sick.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's, obviously the R35's 18-year run? 17?
It's a tremendous
2009
car.
that car came out, dude.
2009
it came out.
2009 for us, US.
US, yes. You're right.
Okay, long time.
Yeah.
So that car, like, that was kind of the funny thing about like Nissan's marketing over all these years. Some would even argue it's like they didn't market it like enough, like to basically explain to the buyer the changes.
Yeah.
They tweak that car every single year.
Of course they do.
Every single year.
Yep.
Well, there's not a lot of cars that get that type of love.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Yeah.
like, okay, we'll take all the other stuff into the next one in 5, 6, 7 years.
Have you heard Joe Rogan talk about the R35? There's a Japanese term, Kaizen, where the art of perfecting it.
Yes.
They've made that car so long, and they
I've seen
tweak
that.
and tweak and tweak.
I love that episode because he's got a huge audience. And yes, I'm aware of the whole Kaizen philosophy, all of that stuff. And that's exactly right.
It's a perfect car.
It's and that's what's cool. I have the best version of that car that there will ever be.
Nice
I
color,
got the
too.
last one. It's a T-Spec Takumi edition.
Yep.
So it's like a the T-Spec was already like a more unique addition. Like, you know, there's GTR Premium that they always made.
Yep.
And then I think it was 2021 they introduced the T-Spec.
Yep.
Which split that difference between a Premium and a full-blown Nismo GTR.
Sure.
So, the Nismo or the T-Spec gives me wider front fenders, wider wheels up front. It gives me the carbon ceramic brake package off of the Nismo GTR. So I have 16-inch rotors in the front.
Damn.
They're beefy and they're carbon ceramic.
And what's the power on the car nowadays?
So
Is it still in that 525 range?
No,
it's
so they bumped. So on paper, like the original, I think year or two, it was like 465.
Yeah.
And then they bumped it up to 565 on paper years ago. But like we're talking about the Kaizen and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
That's just the number that stayed on the paper all these years.
It's 600.
I got a little bit more,
Yeah.
got a little bit more, got a little bit more. And then the Takumi spec car, of which I have, has actually an engine that's even more tight in its tolerances and its balancing. So I've got a gold VIN plate. And I have
cool.
I have a different badge of the Takumi that built my motor. It's in red letters instead of the typical black letters. So my car's like 600 something like
So
that, 600
badass.
horsepower.
What other cars
quick.
do you have?
So that's my Halo car. I have an S2000, which is so fun.
Yeah.
Like, I
Those are
just love
fun
it.
cars.
It's my little track
The
toy.
prices on those are going up like crazy the past couple of years.
Yep, not a surprise, right? I
Yeah.
mean, they kind of were. Even when I bought mine 8 years ago for like $22,000.
That's
crazy.
Yeah, and it had 70,000 miles on it. But
Those
it was
are such
pristine.
fun cars.
It was pristine, but they were on their way up then.
You still have the Type R? We did a video with you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have the Type R anymore. I've gone through a Type R. It was the FK8, so the previous generation.
Yeah.
And then before that, that was fun. Thanks for doing that with me. I know that's not what your audience loves
It's
to
not,
see, but that was fun.
it's you. It
was
was
fun.
so fun, dude.
That was fun.
Yeah.
That was actually
Front-wheel drive, yeah.
that car was like a Gundam on wheels, right? The thing was like so obnoxious, crazy looking.
They are.
And then I had the new Z for a little
that's
while.
right. Yeah.
Those look cool. They look really cool.
They do,
Yeah.
and you just don't see them.
Nope.
I think because it's so
I saw one on
overpriced.
my way here, though.
Did
I
you?
shit you not. I saw one.
I almost never see that car. Same with it's shocking to me how rare it is to see an R35.
Yeah, you really don't
Very
see
rare
them.
to see
Yeah.
those.
Which is shocking to hear because this is where you would see them most.
You would
We're
think.
in LA.
Yeah.
It's I'll see one. I would say probably 2 to 3 times a month. I'll
Yeah.
see an
Yeah.
R35.
I've not owned personally anything more high end than my R35.
Yeah.
But I've certainly driven more high end cars.
Of course.
Around town, whatever. My R35 gets so much attention.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll bet. I'll bet.
It gets attention from the places you would expect it to. Drive by a middle school or a high school.
Oh
when
my
school
God, a
gets out.
GTR.
Rev it,
Yeah.
rev it.
Yeah.
They're all getting out their phones.
Yeah.
It's a total dick magnet at the gas station.
Yep.
Every dude wants to
100%.
talk to you about how much
100%.
power your GTR is making.
Yep.
But then like the weird ones will happen where like I'll get thumbs up from like a mom walking her dog through the cross section, like while I'm like there. They're like, so cool. You know what I mean? Like it's such a trip. I drive that car. Every time I drive that car, I'll get someone coming up next to me on the highway. Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
windows down. Like it's such a cult icon.
It is.
It's legend. You know, if you like tuner cars, if you watch like it's just
You
still
ever
to
get
this
the,
day, 18
even
years
if-
later.
You ever
Even
get the
if-
question? Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
What is that? Yeah.
Well, not so much with the GTR. I got it a lot with the Z. With the,
yeah.
everyone calls it the 400Z. Let's just call it that because
Yeah.
it's just easier to say
Yeah.
that. Like which Z are we talking
Which one?
about?
Yeah.
Right. I used to get that all the time with that car
Yeah.
because I had the really pretty blue color with the two-tone black roof, and I still don't really see those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my whole year of ownership, I think I saw one in the wild other than mine. So when I would drive that around, like people would be like, is that a Nissan? You know? Or like people would be like, oh, is that like everyone assumes that it's like something, you know, just more high dollar or whatever.
Yeah.
It does look a little exotic for what it is.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah.
It has a really good presence.
Yeah.
I think it's a great looking car.
How was it as a driver? I've never driven one, or I've never even been in one.
Well, I never went real crazy with mine. It was pretty much stock. I know our good friend Sean Lee.
Yep.
He went nuts with his.
Of course.
And he got that thing dialed.
Yeah.
Like he was like praising how crazy good that car can be.
Okay.
From stock, from factory, it's soft.
Yeah.
It's really soft.
Yeah.
From factory, it gets smashed on by the Supra.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Which
It looks
doesn't
better than the
surprise
Supra,
me.
though, in my opinion.
It does look better.
Does
than
this
the
come in
Supra.
a manual?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that's what Nissan did correctly.
Yeah.
Is they offered it immediately with a manual
yeah.
or an auto.
Unlike the Supra.
Supra
that
did
came
that.
out auto.
Yeah,
only,
they did the opposite.
And now they do manual.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But like, and to be fair, like, I was just so genuinely pumped that Nissan even did it.
Yeah.
Like, here's a Z. Like, we're not financially stable right now. This is not a car that makes money. That's a crossover.
Yeah.
That's not a two-door sports car.
Yeah.
That's not our bread and butter. But, you know, we know what our brand means to a lot of people. And so we're going to do what we can to like give you the new Z.
Yeah.
But you know, it's an older platform. It's not like they could have done maybe something like what Toyota did.
Yeah.
Partnered with somebody
with
else.
BMW, sure.
But Nissan went full. That's what's cool about that car is they just stayed in house.
Yeah.
That's a Nissan.
Yeah.
It's
That's
not
where Toyota fell off for me on that. And I'm all about BMW as well. Like, I don't have a problem with that. What I had a problem with was, had they never leaked out all the prototype photos of the car, I probably would have thought the Supra was cool. But we had all seen the photos of
prototype.
what
Yeah.
that. Can you pull them up?
What did they call that? The Vision? No, that's
No,
like
no,
Gran
that's
Turismo.
something
I can't remember what they were calling it, but it was
FGT.
God, it was
Maybe.
such
That
a
sounds
sick looking car. It was like finally.
I know everyone.
And on top of it, whether or not you're a tuner guy, the 2JZ is one of the greatest motors ever built.
Mm-hmm.
It is such a bulletproof motor. Mm-hmm. The idea that Toyota kind of shit the bed with that. They were like, all right, now we're going to put it on the Z4 platform. We're going to partner with BMW.
But the original Supra was BMW too. That inline six is like a S54. But
There we go. There's what we were supposed to get.
Hold on, bring it up. Bring the
FT1.
Look at how sexy
Yeah.
that car is,
Yeah.
dude.
It looks longer. The new one is too short.
the
look at
new
that.
one is a very short. The wheelbase is very short.
The new one looks like a rebodied Z4.
I look
that's what it is.
I look so funny stepping out of that car.
I'll bet.
It's like any guy
They're so
that's
small.
If you're 6 feet or like taller, it's a
Tiny,
very tiny,
dude.
I feel like any
car.
bigger though, it'd be like the LC500.
Look at how that car is
those
so
are cool.
sexy,
I like the way
dude.
those look.
That's like a almost in the realm of an LFA. You
That's
know,
what I was thinking. LFA, and I love the
It's
LFA.
a great car.
Super cool car. LFAs.
That's where I just got bummed out on that. And I know the modern Supra is a pretty good car, you know.
Yeah.
But
See, they couldn't
but
make that and
that's-
sell it.
That's that was a decision to make, but that's like so Toyota though.
yeah,
To be, and then what I mean by that is like to be so conservative about.
Yeah.
We don't want to take a big risk. We're bringing the nameplate
Yeah.
back. It's going to cost us a lot of money because we don't currently have an inline six, and it has to be. And who's making inline sixes that are fast? Oh, BMW.
Let's go with BMW.
is, hey, BMW. You know, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, if you want to Google this, I think Toyota has come out and said that the next Supra is Toyota in-house.
which it should be. They've proven TRD's proven itself to be
and
pretty
it's sold-
successful
it's
in
sold-
motorsports.
It's sold well enough too.
I see
Yeah.
those
Over
all
there.
the time. We saw one today on the freeway.
What-
Or I
what
saw
is
one on the new Supra, not the new one, but like the Supra we're talking about right
The
here.
Mark V.
I see them all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
they
people
sold-
modify them. They sound like a BMW
Yeah.
340i.
They sold enough of them
Yeah.
to where now Toyota's like,
Maybe we could do
Okay,
this.
let's
I guess
do it.
that's part of it too. Like I know you got your corporate structure you have to deal with. I'm always looking
And
from
also
the
very notable
enthusiast
is the fact that,
perspective. You know, and
the
the
new Supra will not be a collaboration with BMW, but it will be Toyota's own design, away from the BMW design. So that's a really exciting news. There's so much to tell you. Let's get into it.
cool, what's this source?
Welcome
What
back.
is this?
So
channel?
yes, the new GR Supra is still
'Cause I did-
coming. It's not going to be canceled.
This is not where I heard this news
Automotive
from.
Pass, that's his YouTube channel.
Toyota's own design,
I heard they were going to put a
Toyota's own
V8 in
engineering.
it. Manual
and it will
and
be
V8.
a hybrid/gasoline-powered vehicle, not full EV. So this is probably the best news we've heard
see, that
so
looks
far.
I see that being more. It's going to be a hybrid though.
About the
Yeah,
next
right.
generation.
I feel like a lot of cars are going to be
Now,
hybrid. Like
Yeah.
Corvette just came out with their new hybrid car, right?
Yeah, what is ZR1X?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the R36 is going to be a hybrid too.
Is it?
I feel like hybrid is way easier to go than full electric.
I don't actually have someone telling me that. But
Yeah.
it's most likely of course, it's
Predictable.
predictably going to be.
Yeah.
Now, through the years, you've gotten to be friendly with Nissan, right? Like, haven't you done some?
Yeah, well, yeah. Actually, back to the Z that they launched a few years back. I actually got invited to work with Nissan to like announce the car and launch it in New York.
I remember seeing
it was
that.
sick.
Yeah,
it was a weird time because it was like the pandemic and it's like in New York. It's like, could we not do this somewhere else?
right. Somewhere a little less paranoid.
So like they booked this whole building and like I had to practice the script. I had a teleprompter thing. I met the COO Gupta. He's not with Nissan anymore.
Yeah.
And then oh goodness, I apologize. I can't remember the name of the designer of the Z. A lot of other vehicles he's done for me. Anyway, it was a really cool experience for me.
I'll bet.
But like they had, instead of like doing this big thing with a room full of people, they had like 200 journalists in there only.
Oh.
And then they were broadcasting it live at nissanusa.com and like everywhere. And
Yeah.
it was pretty cool.
How does that feel?
I would think so, man.
It was a pretty neat
Going
experience.
from, you said you're a paramedic. How does that feel going from a paramedic to now all of a sudden you're doing these unveilings and stuff like that, you know?
Unveiling.
Sorry.
One happened.
My bad.
No, I feel like it's such an imposter, man. Most of the time, I like this stuff, but it's
Imposter
like,
syndrome,
like I just, it's cool.
Didn't you go from like zero?
I'm
not
grateful
zero,
for the
but
opportunities.
It was like 100 followers, 1,000 followers, whatever, to 2 million overnight or something.
Yeah, well, it
like
wasn't that dramatic, but yeah, it's all crazy. Like even if like before I did Fast 7, it was like to date, like the worst time of my life.
Sure.
Yeah.
I didn't have Instagram. I wasn't on social media. I had a Facebook because that's what you had. Like back then I had a Facebook, but I didn't use it. Like
and you and your pals
I used it
or whatever.
Like it's when I was in school, but like whatever. And then I was just like a big boy not doing social media, and social media wasn't what it was.
Yeah.
And then I was a paramedic, like we mentioned. And so I wanted to get involved with Row and saving Row because Paul was everything to Reach Out Worldwide.
Yeah.
It didn't have infrastructure to like, it wasn't going to exist without Paul, just like funding missions.
Yeah.
Like there was no like structure to anything.
Yeah.
And I certainly didn't know what I was doing either, but like, I sure as hell wasn't going to allow some outsider to like jump in and like, oh, it's Paul's charity and like all this, weirdness.
Yep.
So the family, like my family, everyone's like, yeah, no, you got to go for it. You got to, we will back you 100%. And like I've met incredible people along the way, but it was like trial by fire, But I lost my train of thought. I don't know what I was
Going from
saying.
overnight Instagram.
Yeah. So then, thank you. So what Paul had done before the accident, he had very recently hired somebody to like help with like branding Reach Out Worldwide, coming out with brand standards, like all these different things for Reach Out Worldwide. And that person was like, well, you're coming on, like we need to create an Instagram for you. We need to create a Twitter for you. I think that was it at the time. This was before TikTok.
Yeah.
Those were the only,
way before TikTok.
Yeah, that was
for
it. I hate Twitter, by the way. I actually like it a lot more now, but I just read. I don't participate in that crap. Just like throwing rocks. So they set me up. Yeah. They created an Instagram for me, and at the time they made it for me. It was Cody Walker ROWW. So my name was this long.
Wow.
And then before I was even approached to help finish 7, fans like in worldwide just like created like this weird rumor started that I was gonna step in for Fast 7. And then all of a sudden my social media just like started gaining all of these followers like crazy.
Wow.
And then by the end of that, I was like 700 and all of a sudden I had 750,000 followers. Huh? So since then, like it's slowly grown since then to now I'm like at, whatever I'm at.
Yeah.
I honestly hate social media.
I don't even have my own page. I just run Autotopia.
Well, I actually need to get somebody to like manage it for me because I very rarely post anything.
Yeah.
I just don't care that much. I like it more for like seeing other things what people are up to. But like I was not destined. Like I was not on track to do this or be like a public figure.
That
was not me at all. It just kind of happened. And so I've kind of done the best that I can.
It's got to be weird for you though, that people are like, "Oh my, can I get a picture with you?"
That's what I mean when I say impostor. Like, it's weird.
Why do you want a picture with me?
I love how much we've spent enough time together from the time you had just left being a paramedic and came down here to do what you did, and your intent has always been in the right place, dude. It was like you said, it was carrying forth what your brother had started with Roe. But I tell you, I'll tell you guys a funny story with Cody that I remember clear as fucking day, dude, was being at the Barrett-Jackson auction when we were dealing with selling one of those Mustangs.
Yeah.
I remember those.
Was this Vegas or
P51?
This was the Florida one.
Florida one.
Yep. And I remember, no, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I can't remember which one. It was one of them.
Back when they used to do Vegas, maybe.
Yeah, it was one of them, I remember. And I remember you and I walking along. We're just hanging out, you and me. And then all of a sudden, people started picking up on, zoning in on you. And all of a sudden, it got weird where people started to kind of gather around a bit. And now I could be totally wrong, but my recollection of this was basically some version of you going, "Dude, we got to get out of here." And so I got in front of you and I kind of walked and started clearing people like the fuck out of the way.
You doing that,
Next
Sean?
thing I know, you and me are sitting out in the middle of fucking nowhere with no phone signal, and we can't get an Uber to pick us up because we can't get a fucking phone signal out. Remember that?
I remember this.
And so now we're sitting on the side of the road. Or like under a tree or something, trying to figure out. Well, now it was in Florida, dude, because it was going.
No. The moment you said that, that's Florida,
because it's you and me,
which is where I have my Fuel Fest event at that venue, South Florida Fairgrounds.
That's crazy.
So every time I drive by that little strip of road where the grass is, I'm like, well, that's where Sean and I were trying to get a ride right there.
I think if I remember correctly, I think you had to text Felicia because you were able to get a text out.
Yeah,
and she called a cab company.
Yes.
And a cab picked us up. Am I right?
Yes, and then there was a funnier part to that. Because I believe that's correct, but we ended up having to get a cab. However it happened. We couldn't, there was like one bar of phone service or tech, but there was no
like
data.
Enough to get it.
You couldn't launch the app to save your life.
Right.
And then, so we ended up getting a cab, which took forever because you don't know where the cab driver. Oh, where are you guys at?
We were waiting for fucking.
And this guy, remember the guy crawled in the cab with us?
What?
There was a dude who was there. He was a buyer, wealthy, loaded dude, and he goes, "Hey, I can't get service either.
Oh yeah.
Do you mind if I share the cab with you?" And we're like, "Sure, dude, hop in." Yep. And then he's this older guy, right? And he gave us his card, and he just like he procures like high-end cars and whatever.
So
and we
funny,
had this
man.
interesting conversation. And
then I remember it just to bring you like up to speed of how. Yeah, I always hate when people say you're so humble, but you are. You didn't become famous and then act like you were famous. People know who you are. Your social media went through the fucking roof. You're still Cody. But I remember at that time, after we escaped the weirdness of that scene, now we get a cab, we get back to our hotel, and we're both hungry going, now what? And we Uber Eats, I think, McDonald's. And we sat at our hotel eating McDonald's. No rock star shit at all. Yeah. Like literally.
That was a good trip. We did end up going at some point. We went, Chris, you were there. Did we not go out and get food? Oh, no. No. You weren't there. Mm-mm. It was you and I, and we went and got
we went and got a good dinner.
On that pier or something like that.
Yeah.
We didn't just eat McDonald's the whole time we were in Florida.
Yeah.
You had one good kick-ass meal, huh?
We did have one good kick-ass meal. Yeah, that was just, it's just been fun to watch. You know, man, some people get affected by people knowing who they are.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, I mean, I've got a fraction of the recognition you do, but I one of my favorite things is when I'm out at different car events and people, you know, hey, the Autotopia guy. I always love when people say to me, "Holy shit, you're exactly like you are on camera."
Yeah.
Like,
that's
you're fucking A right.
You get cool people.
That's a great compliment.
It is. It's cool, and I don't get I know, dude. I've been at Fuel Fest enough with you where you have to walk around with security because it's like people. And I'm not I know all those people who are supporting the event, so I'm not saying anything bad about those people, but I get the dude that's like, "Hey man, so I wanted to know, you know, should I do a Roadster Shop chassis or should I keep my stock chassis?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah, let's have a conversation."
Yeah.
I don't get too many people going, "Dude, can I get a selfie? I need a selfie. Can I get a selfie?" And then follow me around. People don't follow me around.
I remember the first time I saw you at Fuel Fest, you came to our booth and you had like 200 people following you, and you're in a golf cart, just you know,
golf cart.
You came over to our booth and I don't know if you remember, it was at SS Motorsports. It was an Impala, 96 Impala on 24-inch wheels. You sat in the car and like revved it up. There was like 300 people right there, and I thought it was really cool because you were just chopping it up with us as if nobody was there at all. You know, and then walked off, took some pictures and whatnot. But
that's what I enjoy doing. Like, and I just like I do the best that I can because I invite a lot of friends and I want to chop it up with my friends and see stuff. You know, it's just like there's only one of me.
But you also interact well with all the people that have spent the money, taken the time and energy to be there. It's rad. Oh, dude, it's rad how you handle it, brother. It really is.
Without them, I mean, come on, you know. I'm happy to do it. It's for the people, man. It's the shows, you know. It's fun.
Yeah. Well, look, I know we've been going for how long are we in this right now?
About an hour and a half.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay, so like Joe Rogan style is another hour and a half.
Dude, you can literally go hours doing this. But
that flew by.
I know.
That was a good one though.
And it's funny, we could keep going. Fun. But let's call it. But number one, thank you for doing this, dude. It's good. You know, you live in Arizona now and we're here and stuff. So I don't see you near as much. And
no, dude, I'm so glad we got to do this.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Me too.
Like, and I'm stoked. Like, what episode is this?
12. I think this will be our 12th
Oh, okay.
one.
A few more than I thought.
We're early into this, though. We're really just getting started, kind of figuring it out, you know?
Stoked to be here.
I love it. Dude. And I can't wait till this Saturday. I'm super excited to see the difference from Irwindale to fucking Pomona, man. Pomona, like, Irwindale's a big deal to a lot of people. It never was to me. I've been going to Winter Nationals since I was a kid. You know, I've been out there so much, and Grand National Roadster Show every year. So I'm super excited to see, given the bigger space that you have to operate in, what it's going to be like.
It's going to look awesome.
I can't wait.
It's going to be good, man.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm pumped. Super, super pumped about it.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Thanks for doing this, brother. And for everyone watching, thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, boss. That was great.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.